This is the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Wednesday morning, August 22nd. Needless to say, we'll focus mostly on Tropical Storm Isaac this morning since so many people have so many questions. But in the short term, we can be thankful for some nice, calm, refreshing weather around here. Let's check some of the Skycam shots. These were captured early this morning. I do this before the sun comes up. These are about 5 o'clock. That's our Tuscaloosa Skycam. It's clear. We've got temperatures there in the low 60s. Look at downtown Jasper and Walker County. And up the road to look at Haleyville in Winston County. Feels awfully nice. There's your upper trough over the east that has produced some absolutely delightful weather for August here in recent days. Low humidity, cool nights, a real nice preview of fall. And yeah, we got some 50s on the map early this morning. Fort Payne up into Cobb County at 55. Coleman and Haleyville at 57. Birmingham at 63. And the air is cool. The air is dry. We still see no major rain for a while. This is the expected rain around the nation through the weekend, through Sunday evening at 7 o'clock, barely enough to measure for much of our state, as most of the attention will be focused on the tropical mischief, which should stay well to the south and east of here. All right, two systems to watch. First off, that little impulse that was part of Helene is basically on the Mexican coast, drifting west, no convection, so no issues there. We've got Isaac nearing the Leeward Islands, and the one behind it should become Tropical Storm Joyce in coming days. We'll focus on Isaac this morning. The system did indeed gain some convection overnight. The Hurricane Center has the maximum sustained winds at 45 miles an hour, moving along at a pretty good clip, and that often will reduce the ability for this thing to grow rapidly. And also, there still is some dry air around it. Check modeling. These are the tropical models, and you can see that there's pretty good agreement, leading to a somewhat high level of confidence that this thing will be a problem for the east coast of Florida. And look at the models. I mean, they bring this thing right across Hispaniola, and that will eat this thing alive because of the mountains. And it will be emerging, coming up toward East Florida, is a weaker system. And remember, the worst of the weather will be along and to the right of the center, so Florida should be on the drier side. And, you know, it's going to have to strengthen in a hurry. It could be a minimal hurricane coming up through there, but I think the main effect will be just rain and wind initially. And hopefully it's just going to be a big rain producer for the eastern U.S., as you'll see. We'll check the GFS ensembles. This is from the OZ run. And most of the members are in very good agreement with everything else. They've got it running generally near or just off the east coast of Florida, with the ultimate landfall perhaps up around Georgia or South Carolina, coming up to the eastern U.S. with just a lot of rain. I really think rain and flooding will be the biggest issue here. And, of course, all the media guys are going nuts over, you know, the political convention in Tampa and, you know, death, doom, and destruction. But Tampa sure looks like it's going to be on the dry side of this. I just don't think it's going to be a big disruption. And, again, you know, I like the analogs. Looking at the past is a very valid way of looking at the future. Systems in a similar place with similar upper air conditions. The top analog is Fiona from a couple of years ago, that stayed offshore, but you can clearly see only one, you know, cut through the Gulf, the Yucatan. That was Charlie in 1951. You know, Chris scores high from 1988. But the odds of this being a Gulf system are just very small. We talked about this yesterday. You know, I think that is an important chart. What about the intensity? Very noisy here. You've got some models that ramp it up to a Category 3. Those are outliers. Most bring it up to Category 1 status or keep it as a tropical storm. And I think that's correct. I don't think this thing's going to be a big hurricane. Again, rain is going to be the biggest issue. There's the official track from the Hurricane Center, and they have adjusted to the right. They bring the thing over Hispaniola, and again, I think they'll have to adjust it farther north with time. And I'm not so sure. In fact, I'm pretty confident it's not going to be a hurricane coming off Haiti. It'll come across the eastern tip of Cuba, then curving up toward Miami and the east coast of Florida early next week. So if you're watching this in Key West and Miami and Daytona Beach and Fort Lauderdale and Jacksonville, yeah, a lot of rain Monday of next week. The Florida Gulf Coast on the drier side, sure, you'll get some rain and wind in Fort Myers and Tampa, but Again, I just don't think this will be a big disruption for the Republican National Convention, despite what all the news people are trying to tell you. Never let facts get in the way of a good story. All right, now, there's a look at both systems. You've got Isaac on the left and what should be Joyce on the right. And that probably will be upgraded to a depression maybe by the time you watch this. But all the models are in good agreement. This will be a higher latitude storm, passing well north of the Leeward Islands and Puerto Rico. And it gets up in there. What does it do? It recurves. The GFS ensembles do the recurve job, and I think that is the absolute correct solution. Intensity forecasts, none of the models bring it up to a hurricane. Many bring it up to a tropical storm, though. And again, it's going to have some upwelling issues with Isaac, perhaps. And again, it gets over the cooler water. So we'll keep an eye on that, but it shouldn't be a problem for the United States. All right, here's the operational GFS. This is valid at 1 o'clock today. This is the OZ run at 500 millibars. There's your trough over the east. Down below that, just gorgeous. Sunny. High today, upper 80s to near 90. Humidity stays low. Dew points in the 50s. Nice. Tomorrow's sunny. High around 90. Same thing on Friday. Maybe low 90s. Dew points coming up a little bit. Saturday, as we start the weekend, we're going to mention widely scattered showers on Saturday and Sunday, but I think most everybody stays dry. High should be close to 90, and the same thing on Sunday. And kind of focus on Isaac, that should be on the north coast of Cuba. I think this position looks pretty good. Now, there's Monday, and again, you can see a shortwave trough north of us that should turn Isaac north. The GFS has the thing near Miami, and that could be right, maybe a tad east of there. The GFS has been a little too far west, in my opinion, based on the upper air pattern, but clearly there could be some wind and rain, no doubt. Should be Monday in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. So if you're in South Florida, that's going to be your rough day. I think flooding will be the main issue. Should be a tropical storm or a minimal hurricane at that point. Now, Tuesday, the GFS wants to bring it northwest. I don't think that's the right solution. I think it goes more north. But whatever, we're on the dry side here. There's Wednesday of next week. It's got the thing near Savannah. Again, I think it's going to be farther east than that. But even if that's right, we're in the dry flow. The dew points could very well come down as we get a northerly flow. And then the day after that, there's Thursday of next week. It's moving up toward the tidewater. So a lot of rain for the East Coast next week. I don't think this will be a big destructive hurricane. There could be some flooding issues. Obviously, a lot of rough surfing through there. Windy, but again, at this point, I don't expect a destructive hurricane, and Alabama should not have any serious impact here. We'll be on the dry side. All right, let's check the 9th of September. Into the forecast, 588 Ridge. Now, keep in mind, it can be hot here in September. We've had basically no heat in August, so we'll be shocked if we had some hot weather in September. Down below that looks pretty typical, pretty warm and humid with a chance of scattered showers and storms. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes on the blog. That's alabamawx.com in case you're watching this over on YouTube or iTunes or somewhere else. The next video here by 3:30 or so today. And don't forget to watch us on television this evening if you can. ABC 3340 on the live stream or the television side at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless. Weather.